Hi Bloomies, welcome to Bloemfontein Property Showcase. I'm Kanye and I'm your host today.
In the heart of South Africa, there's a city full of opportunities, charm, and untold property stories. Welcome to Bloemfontein Property Showcase.
I'm sure a lot of you have heard the term conveyancing or transferring attorney, and I'm sure as a first-time buyer, you're probably wondering what is that? But today we have a transferring attorney, Shanay Solomon, who will be unpacking all of this for us today. Okay, I would like to just head on over to differentiating the difference between the buyer's role and what they are liable to pay, and the seller's role and what they are liable to pay in the transferring process. So I know you did mention that the seller is the one who appoints the transferring attorney. Yeah. But you mentioned that the buyer is responsible for a whole lot of
most of the payments.
Yes, so can you just differentiate, okay, the seller is responsible for this payment, but they are allowed to do this. The buyer is responsible for these payments, but they are allowed to do this.
Yeah. Okay, so because at the core of a transfer of ownership, it boils down to a contract, which is then the offer to purchase. As I mentioned, there could be different conditions where I could approach you and say, I want to buy your house. I'll pay all extra costs, transfer duty, rates clearance. I'll pay the estate agent. That's how badly I want the house. Yes. You can obviously put something like that in contract, that it is agreed upon by the parties.
Okay.
But the most traditional way of doing it would be that the buyer is, should there be an estate agent involved, the buyer is liable for paying the estate agent and then the transfer duty. That's all the buyer pays.
Okay.
The seller then pays the transferring fees, which is then the attorney's fees,
yes.
And then the rates clearance figures. Yeah.
And
I forgot one more thing. If it is a sectional title, the buyer is responsible for paying the levies.
Oh yes.
With the body corporate, because we also would then need a homeowners association clearance certificate. Yeah.
So I know this episode is about the conveyancing process, but I did want to touch on sectional titles, on estates and levies, but we'll do that at the end, just before our FAQs. I would like to find out, or I'd like you to tell the viewers, in terms of monies being received, the agent receiving their commission, the seller receiving their, the sale price. When does that happen for each party, for yourself as well? Once you've paid out all those fees from the trust account, when do you get your money? Is it on lodgement, before, after? When does that happen?
Okay, so how this happens is the buyer needs to pay the purchase price into the conveyance's trust account. Okay. So a trust account is actually very sensitive. Yes. Our trust accounts get audited every 3 months. We need to submit that audit to the LPC.
Yes.
And a faulty trust account is actually a big reason why a lot of attorneys have been scrapped from the roll.
Oh wow.
So it is very sensitive.
Yes.
And that money is held in trust up until date of registration. On date of registration is when we can then pay, so from the amount that's meant to go to the estate the seller,
yes.
We pay the estate agent first from our trust account,
okay.
And then pay the seller the remainder.
Okay.
What we also do then is, because there was a advanced payment on the rates clearance,
yes.
Figures, we request a refund from the municipality, and that then goes back to the buyer.
Okay.
So there is a little bit of money that comes back.
Compensation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great.
So we're not allowed to do anything up until date of registration at the deeds office.
Okay.
And especially when there's a bond involved,
the
bank actually only pays out that money once we've sent proof of registration from the deeds office.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. So thank you for even shedding some light on that compensation. It's a very, very sensitive topic when you're dealing with the buyer.
Definitely. There's a lot of costs that go into it.
Yes. So let's touch on the bond. The bond, when a buyer is buying through a bond and not cash, is there any delay in payments? And sometimes, the buyer needs to accept the different, they receive different offers from different banks.
Yeah.
And then from the moment of registration, that's when the bond is paid out. Is that with all the banks? Is that standard?
All the banks.
All the
banks, yes.
Okay.
So what's a bit sensitive when it comes to bonds is because you are loaning money, the bank needs to ensure that you have enough security. Should you not, be able to pay your monthly installments, they need to have security to actually take to cover the amount that you owe them.
Okay.
So they are very finicky in terms of what it is that you are able to give them for security, and it is a reason why a lot of bond approvals are delayed.
Yes.
Yeah.
So just to touch on that, Bloomies, we will be having a bond originator representative on our next episode who will explain all the details that it goes into qualifying you to qualify for a bond, what are some of the things that the banks look for, what are the discrepancies, and some common errors that first-time buyers make. So we will be sure to drop that episode next. So coming back to you, Shanay, I would like you to just touch on sectional titles, estates, levies, and just as we're seeing the trend now, especially your young couples or your young professionals, they seem to like the estate living or the complex living. Yeah. What are some of the implications that most buyers don't take into consideration when purchasing a home?
Okay, so all of these complexes that we see, as great and as cute and as aesthetically pleasing as they are, come with a lot of different rules.
Okay.
What happens is a developer buys a big piece of land and then kind of converts it into a sectional scheme.
Yes.
And a sectional scheme will then have a name. Let's say, for example, I don't know, Fauna Lily.
Yes.
And we'll have unit 1 to 20.
Yes.
You'll notice that most of them look the same. They have the same color scheme, same layout. And that's because of the rules.
Okay.
They go as far as telling you what plant you're allowed to plant. Making sure that you have a gardener. Your house is only allowed to be painted a certain color, whether you're renting or whether you've bought.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of things that go into buying in a sectional scheme. But then again, there's the comfort of safety.
Yes.
Apart from buying a standalone.
And communal facilities. Beneficial to each buyer's needs. Yeah.
Also, what happens, with the sectional scheme is you'll have your unit, and that's your private unit.
Yeah.
But then there will be communal property, which will be like the driveway in and out, or the swimming pool, or
the play area,
and everyone kind of is equally entitled to that space.
Yeah. So just to bring it back to the topic of today, when it comes to sectional titles, what are some of the differences that aren't there with a freestanding or standalone house or property? And you did mention a body corporate. Remember, most of our viewers have no idea or about all these terminologies and one of these institutions. So can you just touch on that?
Yeah. So body corporate is a body that literally runs a sectional scheme.
Okay.
So it's usually everyone that buys a property becomes part of the body corporate. So they each have a say in how it's run, what rules are changing, what's being added, what's being removed, how to go about certain issues that different people face within this sectional scheme. What happens when you then transfer a unit from a sectional scheme is, the main difference between standalone and sectional would be that you need the Homeowners Association certificate. So The body corporate, there's a body corporate and then there's a homeowners association.
Yes. Okay.
And the people that live in the complex form part of mostly the homeowners association, and then the body corporate would, sorry, this is now something that I think I'm confusing everyone,
Yeah.
but there's the body corporate and then there's the homeowners association. The body corporate would mostly be run by either a trust
Okay.
or maybe still the developer.
Okay. Yes.
And then the homeowners association would be everyone that's bought a unit that now
That
forms
lives in
part
the
of the
community.
homeowners association.
Okay.
The body corporate can't really make big changes without the confirmation of the homeowners association. Yeah.
So the homeowners association is the voice of all the residents living there, and they sort of relay
Yes.
messages to the body corporate.
Yeah, they have meetings where they take votes on certain issues
Okay.
or certain things that they'd like to change or amend or bring in or remove.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So there is some advantages. You can be rest assured that your voice will be, heard.
Hopefully, if you're part of the majority.
Yes, that part.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you so much for shedding on a lot of, light, a lot of information. I think we'll end it there, let them take it in, and then if they have any other questions or comments or topics relating from what we've spoken about, they'll let us know down in the comments, and then maybe we'll have a part 2, I don't know.
Yeah.
You'll let
For
us know.
sure.
Let's just go through some of the FAQs. So we spoke about any red flags indicating a transaction that could get delayed or fall through. We did. Is there anything else you think you might have missed that you want to share?
I think, and it's something that I have heard about from another fellow conveyancer, and it was, there's a big scam that's being run lately where people, I'm not sure whether they have input really, but properties are being sold without owners knowing.
Oh wow.
And it's important for conveyancers to really see what's stipulated in the offer to purchase.
Yes.
If it seems like the buyer is a bit too desperate
Eager.
to sell
Yeah.
and is willing to take installments for the transfer of this property, that's one. Another one would just be maybe, certain conditions that might not be compliant with actual statutory rules. Yeah.
Yeah. Oof. Just to touch on that, I also know or heard through,
The grapevine.
the grapevines of the scam going on where they pressure the seller so much. There's a buyer that just comes in, it's like, no, I've got cash. What is some of the red flags that sellers can look out for in such a situation? And what is the scam that they are running? Like, yeah, what is it that...
So I've heard of just one scam where it seems that people kind of have insiders
Yeah.
dealing with companies and property. So being able to change ownership of
Oh, wow.
companies, properties, like, just the ownership thereof,
Yes.
and then selling for their personal gain.
Yes.
Yeah.
And just to take a break there, I'd just like to inform our viewers, it's so important that you make sure that when you are dealing with a real estate agency or a firm, that you can even ask for the FFC number. So we have an institute or body corporate of our own, which is called the PPRA, for some of you who don't know. At the PPRA, on their website, you can go and search the firm and see if they are registered and do they have a valid FFC, as well as the agent that you are dealing with. A lot of people are unaware that anyone can just decide, okay, I'm a real estate agent, and we're all advertising on social media, but do they hold a valid FFC? And to be a fully fledged property practitioner, that is the legal or correct name for a real estate agent, you must have written there's an exam that you write, and then you are awarded the certificate. So what we do have, which is my stage currently, then you are then an intern PPRA, and you have to be employed by a firm that is again registered with the PPRA, and you are in a mentorship process while you are gathering your logbook and you're going to write this exam. So even if they say, oh no, I'm an intern PPRA, it's fine, you can trust me, it's fine. You can still ask, do they have a valid FFC, and that they are working under the supervision of their principal agent. Yes. So let me go ahead to the next question. Sorry. So do you think that the industry is moving toward a more digital conveyancing environment, especially relevant to Free State, Bloemfontein, now?
Yes, definitely. I think conveyancing as a whole is moving very digitally. So the Deeds Office or the Deeds Registry of South Africa has launched an online platform.
Okay.
Where we will be able to lodge, register everything. So a lot of conveyancers essentially won't need to attend to a deeds office any longer.
Okay.
So we've done a few pilots on the actual platform, and it's pretty well set up. So I think in the next 5 years we'll be mostly digital. We also request our rates clearance certificates digitally, transfer duty receipts digitally. So most of it is digital, apart from the actual physical signatures you need on certain documents.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that's valid information for some of our viewers who are maybe in the legal space still studying and they want to specialize in conveyancing, or even for some of our viewers who want to become a real estate agent one day. And let's go ahead and ask the next one. What advice would you give to someone buying or selling property for the first time?
Oof. Do your due diligence. I think a lot of the time, selling a house is such a dreadful process.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the time there's so much false hope as well. Someone coming to view, someone saying yes, and then just not following through with the next process. So I think a lot of the time it's really not very threatening kind of buyers, but definitely just do your due diligence to save yourself the time and energy. Yeah.
Okay. And then I think we are getting to our last question. So how have recent economic or property trends affected conveyancers' timelines and workloads?
So with the inflation rates changing all the time, obviously it changes credit applications, and so naturally directly that affects it affects the bond processes. So applying for a bond would then take a bit longer than usual. Obviously, checking the affordability of each client. But what we found is a lot more cash purchases. But what then happens is the FICA requirements from the conveyancer's point of view is much more than what it would be for the bond. I mean, with a bond, the bank kind of does their FICA, so it's a bit less on the conveyancer. But we need to kind of make sure with cash purchases that the money isn't fraudulent money, that these people aren't really affiliated with people that are busy with fraudulent activities and so on. But there has been a growth in terms of first-time home buyers. So it has an effect. We'll see how it goes. Economically, I don't think we're in the best space for home buyers. But we're still moving, which is the good part.
Okay, I think we've wrapped up our FAQs. Just before I let you go, there is something important that you did mention, but I think we'll definitely bring you back for a part 2. You were talking about transferring and then whether it is a private sale or commercial or company, a natural person or company. We focused a lot on just a natural person. So when it is a company or consortium, there's this stop-fell trend going on where people are coming together as a group and then like, let's invest in properties. So how does that affect the conveyancing process?
So I'm going to start on companies or consortiums. So naturally a company obviously needs to be registered. and then they are registered with CIPC.
Yes.
So in our software, as I mentioned that we do cross-checks with Home Affairs, we also do cross-checks with CIPC.
Okay.
So we can kind of cross-reference, cross-check company, like the registration numbers of companies,
Yes.
the names, do they really own what they say they own, what else do they own.
Okay.
So we can do those cross-checks, but I've not dealt with a stock file as of yet.
Okay.
But if I just apply my mind, I think that you'd just have multiple owners with different shares to a certain property.
Okay.
So it shouldn't be too intricate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm Shanay Solomon from Solomon Associates Incorporated, and we are on TikTok, not yet active, but you can follow us. We're on Instagram under Solomon Associates. So please do follow us, and yeah, I'll be sharing much more educational tips, also launching my website, and yeah, that will also be very educational. So yeah, thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.
So be sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell.
Videos drop every Tuesday and Thursday. Make sure that you follow our social media platforms. That is Bloemfontein Property Showcasing. See you there.